Hello everyone. I will talk very softly because I do not want to bother my neighbors around. I am making that video because I had technical problems today for the recording of the live event, and so I would like just to address again the points that I raised this morning with the participants who were there. So mainly I talked about two things, and the first thing was about the Noble Eightfold Path. So I said this morning that this Noble Eightfold Path is composed of 8 parts, and if you might know them or not, I'm just saying them again. Right livelihood, right effort, right action, right intention, right concentration, right understanding, right mindfulness, and right view. And wherever you find yourself in your practice, you might find yourself a bit stuck or feeling yourself like the teachings really, the Buddha's teachings really do not bring you to a place that much different than where you were before starting the teachings. All right, so what I said also this morning is that the Eightfold Path is 8 part. You might prefer this. Let's do this. It's 8, right? And I said, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this, right? Noble Eightfold Path is 8 parts. The Buddha came with that framework or that set of items which actually help support each other. They are interconnected and they support each other. So he didn't say, well, right mindfulness, you're not obliged to use it. He didn't say, all right, right understanding, oh, no need, or you can develop a little bit. Right view, no, forget about it. Oh yeah, okay, if you feel like it, then just use right livelihood. And if you feel very tired, no need for right effort. Has never said that. This is this. So if you get stuck in your practice, then look which one you are not developing, right? Look which one is not present in your life. Maybe you're working like this, all right, and you do not know, and you think that it might work if it's just like this, because most of the time we pick up what we like. Okay, this one I like, I keep. This one I don't like, I discard. This one goes, not really needed. This one, no. 8, right? 8. It is a well thought system. So if you might think, okay, I will just read a little bit about the Buddha's teachings, do a little bit of meditation, 20 minutes a day, And then I will see the world as an illusion. And all right, you tried, and after a while, and sometimes after months and months, you say, nothing has changed, right? And people come to ask, but I do not see that the sage, the wise say, all right, the people see the world as an illusion, but I don't. What I'm doing wrong? Well, maybe you are not developing concentration. Maybe you're not developing a right mindfulness. Maybe you're not developing a right understanding through insight practice, right? So therefore you cannot have access to what wise men see by direct seeing. And direct seeing is not intellectual understanding. It's not intellectual understanding. Direct seeing is the emergence of insight, knowledge through meditative practice. And right, because sometimes you say, all right, I'm interested in calming the mind, but I do not have time to develop mindfulness through the day, so I would just do the sitting. Or you say, what else? All right, I will develop the spiritual path, but there are things that I do not believe are true according to the Buddha. I do not believe in the rebirth or craving for existence, craving for non-existence. What is that? This I do not take. So that means that you do not develop a right view. You cannot say, for example, among the Four Noble Truths, you cannot say, oh, I take only one. So I will take on number one, which is there is suffering. I say, oh no, I prefer the fourth one, the end of suffering, the development of the path. But I forget the three first. No, it's a system. It's a system. So the 8 parts, when you get stuck, then look what you haven't developed. Maybe it's right effort. Maybe it's not paying attention to what kind of thoughts you're cultivating. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a right view that you want to keep your idea about how the world works, right? And you want to, for example, discard completely the working of karma. Or maybe it is that you want to improve your life without having to develop good qualities of the heart, like kindness, friendliness, harmlessness. Maybe you just want to, to stay stingy or a bit selfish for yourself. But it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It's the 8. And I do not want to make that video too long, but addressed also the bitter sweetness of the Dharma, meaning that if you develop those areas, you will get the sweetness of it. You will have, if you develop right concentration, you will have the blissful sensations, the rapture body. You will have the calmness of the mind. You will have access to, the cat is mewing, not mine. You will have access to these altered states of consciousness, really expanded consciousness, this connection with the all. You will have access to the collective consciousness, and you will have access to very restful mental states. But for this is the result. But for that, the bitter taste of it, that you will have to bring effort into the sitting. You will have to say, oh no, I won't watch this movie. Instead, I will sit. I will sit cross-legged. And sitting like this might be painful, actually. And you will have to, at the beginning, develop this mind training. This is the bitter side of the Dhamma. And also, if you want to get insight knowledge, right understanding, which is part of the Noble Eightfold Path, right understanding, develop wisdom, then you will have to look at very uncomfortable aspect of life. So you say, okay, so some express themselves like this: I want to see the world as an illusion, or I want to see that you tell me there is no really me inside of me. I want to see it. Okay, but then you have to contemplate the body. You will have maybe to contemplate the body parts. What this is made of. The skin, the bones, the sinews, the brain, the feces, the urine, and so on. This is not very comfortable practice. You will have maybe to develop the perception of the skeleton, for example. Say, okay, I want to be free from lust and greed and desire, but you do not want to contemplate what it is to be alive at the expense of other people, other creature, the food that you have to bring into the body. And the fact to be extremely sensitive to the nerves of that body, and also the emotions that have a feedback on the energies of the body. But so you wonder, if you want the results without doing the practice that is not comfortable, then it's not possible. So it's like, all right, I want to be free from any attachment. This is really what creates suffering. How can I get detached from people? But you do not want to do the contemplation of impermanence, or in other words, the contemplation of death. And then you won't get through those results. Or this detachment, this passion that I'm talking about. You come to it through the contemplation of three aspects, which are impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and not self. And if you do not go into that contemplation if you do not look at those three aspects on different times, in more worldly and outwardly, then this wisdom will not infuse your mind. You will have only a superficial level. Like if I tell you, all right, you're not your body, or your body is impermanent. Of course, I mean, of course, it's not obvious, but you understand it intellectually. But it is way different than really sitting and doing the mindfulness of the body, and for example, contemplation of death, and looking at the impermanence of absolutely everything. The results on your mind, psyche, will be completely different. We often talk about a mundane level of understanding and the supramundane level of understanding. When we talk about it, then, all right, you might, look at the seating maybe. Yeah, okay. I've never think about things like this. So this is mundane level. Like the first time you are in touch with philosophy, for example. But then when you contemplate by yourself over and over again, like when you sit cross-legged, make your mind calm and look at the body from the inside, then the inner knowing would be completely different. You will be convinced of it. No question about that, because it's not something that you receive from the outside through abstract thinking, through intellectualization. You see it. You see it. You see the mind working, you see the body. You see the rising of what creates the idea of yourself, of me. They arise and they cease. You see it directly. Direct experience. This is what matters. This is what matters. And so this is the bittersweetness of the Dhamma. I'm trying to remember what I said. Yes, I said that. This morning I said that one has to combine to skillfully make the right recipe between this sweetness and the bitterness of the Dhamma, I would say, right? So one has to really cultivate, for example, concentration or rapture of the body, coming there over and over again in order to gain trust and to say, okay, when I'm not doing that well, or when my mind isn't steady, then I can come back to concentration and the jhanas, at least the first jhanas, meditative immersions, because in that I feel good. Oh yes, concentration, I feel good. Or you can develop the qualities of the heart: kindness, compassion, joy. Is it still working? Yes. Joy, equanimity. All right, yeah, this feels good. The heart feels open, the mind feels calm, ready to process what might be difficult, more difficult inside practice. The Vipassana aspect, the developing of right understanding. And okay, so they work together. All right. Sometimes you do a lots of inside practice, and then you feel very tired. It can be very tiring. And then you say, all right, let's do some, right? So then it comes back below. Let's say supportive. Okay, let's relax, let's rest, let's expand the mind and come back then to inside practice, right? And do what's really unpleasant practice sometimes. All right, and then you gain confidence. You have the two working together, right? The two working together. Sometimes there, sometimes there. It's illustration with two parts of the Noble Eightfold Path, but it works for the eighth, actually. This kind of tandem or support or factors that have to be brought in. So you need to learn how to balance some factors and also really have a clear view about all over the 8 parts of development, which one you haven't touched yet. Maybe it's right view. You haven't looked at the Four Noble Truths at all. Maybe there is no concentration practice. Maybe there is no wisdom because you do not develop a right understanding. So you have to look, or maybe because your actions are not in line with your practice, and your mind gets very worried because you've done unskillful actions, and then it brings regret, shame, worry, and anger, maybe, and anxiety, and therefore you cannot have this calmness necessary to develop wisdom. So look at all those as for 8 aspects, and yeah, be very conscious about the fact that you cannot get the sweetness of the Dhamma without a little bit of effort, without, it's a compromise. And then later you would say, because you will realize for yourself all the benefits of looking at those, what seems uncomfortable at the beginning, and you say, okay, bring it to me, I do it, bring it to me, I do it. Some courage, some faith, some energy brought into the practice and the development of wisdom. Maybe you will, this is the, yeah, okay, so maybe the progress will be, will go maybe slow, fast, and then you will reach a point where you see there is the rim here. So yeah, kind of you're stuck. There is kind of ceiling, and you haven't reached stream entry yet. Stream entry. You don't know what more has to be done, and the mind has not leaped into Nibbana. Then look clearly at these 8 points, and it's possible that there are still some parts that are not developed, or that you have decided that you have left untouched, or that you have maybe kind of unconsciously left a little bit aside because this is the part that you do not like to look at. So it's possible. I will leave it like this at that. And if you have any questions, then you can contact me directly. Now there is the website, which is murielsico.com, and you can also contact me via this website. You can join us every Sunday, sometimes for practice, sometimes for Dharma talk and for question. All right. So thank you for your attention.